I am sort of basic technical support for a travel agency.
I work in customer support for a startup in product management.
I'm working for an American company in the logistics department.
And in your profession here in Prague, how much we can expect to earn?
Okay, it depends, I guess. Well, overall, I would say that salaries are definitely a little lower compared to other big European capitals. I would say anything between 50,000 crowns and 65,000 crowns, probably, like gross. If it's an entry level, it's gonna be lower.
And do you have a range of salary that somebody could expect in your profession here in Prague?
I mean, when I first started and I was working for like kind of people that would take anybody and like a call center, which was really, really good because it managed to, enable me to get the job that I have now and everything. And I made friends with loads of people. It's really great. But I think we started off on 35,000, which at that time was, I mean, I lived in a hostel, but I could get by and drink all the time and party and whatever. Now, I think for my job customer support, so 50,000, I would say, is a little bit higher than normal if you have experience and you're going for a company that wants good support. But I would, 50 to 60,000. Oh no, I think it would be 45,000 to probably 60,000.
And you're speaking about crowns per month.
Crowns, yeah, goodness me.
Yeah,
Imagine if it was euros.
In your profession, what would you say would be a range of salary that people could expect to earn in Prague?
I would say before tax, it could vary between, let's say, 40 to 50,000 Czech crowns. And as you level up, or if you work in a different sector with the same experience, it could be different. For example, IT sector, I had a classmate who was just writing codes for a program or for an application, and he was getting 120,000 crowns per month, which is like so good for Prague, because I think most of the people who work there, I mean, in this city, do not even see that, in their lives. So it's a really huge amount for certain categories and departments. But for someone like me who has only worked like one job with 2.5 years experience, I think you can get like between 40 and 60,000 crowns, I would say.
So, for example, if there are some issues with the information displayed on the live site of the travel agency, my department can try to intervene on that. But most of the time, we do like our basic troubleshooting, and then we just ask for help to developers that actually know what's going on. So, like very, very basic technical support, I would say.
And how would you describe the work life here?
Like for money in general, I would say that the atmosphere is pretty relaxed. Okay, of course, there is a hierarchy, but the managers, like at least my managers, have been pretty understanding with me. If I had issues, we could talk about it. But when it comes to work-life balance, I would say it's good. They expect you to do your job, of course, which, I mean, it's not like you're not working in Italy, but at the same time, I would say that some people, once they manage to get an open term contract, they tend to sit a little bit on it in Italy because it's harder to achieve. But once you get it, you are basically set for life. So here is different because contracts are okay. They can be on open term, but it's easier to fire people. So that's something that might give you a little bit of anxiety. But as long as you do your job, and if you have issues, you talk about them, I would say that it's fine. Other than that, my company is, as I said, an international company. So it's interesting because the atmosphere is relaxed, but you come into contact with people belonging from different cultures, and it's always a plus for me. Um, And so I would say that also here in Prague is generally easier to find a job for an international company, and then if you want, you can move on something smaller. That's kind of a tip, I guess. But yeah, I would say that I prefer overall the working culture here than the working culture that I can find in Italy.
So I spend my days answering chats and investigating like issues that customers might have with their products and seeing if it's should supposed to work like that or if there's an issue with it. Okay, in terms of relationships with colleagues, all of that stuff, incredible. Way better than England. If you want, like, I don't know whether England still has this class system or whatever, or maybe that might be something that I feel. But here, everyone's friends, everyone's treated like a human being.
In terms of work-life balance, what would you say?
For other people, I think, and compared to the UK, yes, it's a much better work-life balance. Personally, I don't have that.
Is it based on the company or your own preference?
I think it's the economic climate at the moment, and probably the way that I am.
Basically, what we are doing is like the entire department is like taking care of the vehicles and the trailers for that company and like worldwide, and just like arranging everything related to them. So I believe generally work-life balance here is nice. For me, I used to start working at 7 or 7:30. Yeah, I think it was 7. Then I was finishing at like 3:30. Then I would have basically the rest of the day for myself, so it was almost like same as checks. Now I start at 8:30 and I finish at 5. Then it's kind of hard, after like you have to come home, then you have to take care of yourself, you have to rest as well, you have to cook, I don't know, those kind of stuff. So work-life balance for me, it was better. Now it's kind of difficult, I would say, but I'm still like managing it. Anything else related
And
to that?
relationships with the boss, coworkers,
Oh,
atmosphere at work.
well, for my company, it's pretty international. So we have only like couple checks maybe in the whole department. So I would say also due to corporate culture, our relationship between each other, I mean between the colleagues and the boss, it's pretty nice. They don't come and they just act like they're the boss. They are pretty kind. Of course, there could be like some serious talks and stuff, which is happening everywhere. But on the other side, we're pretty chill. For example, with my boss, she is my boss since I joined the company, and we're like basically friends. Because for example, on Instagram, we send each other like memes and laugh about it. But when we're at work, we discuss like certain and serious topics. And even though, like for example, we're close with each other, when I make a mistake, of course, she's like warning me. So it's about, I think, keeping the your social life and work life different, but it's just I haven't really seen that people are being jerked to each other. They're pretty nice and kind, I would say.
And then in terms of cost of living, how much would you say
Okay.
does it cost to live here?
Well, it depends. I would say that overall, when it comes to cost of living here in Prague, the prices are going higher, but it's still, compared to other Western European capitals, it's still slightly cheaper. So, for example, if you want to share an apartment, so you're looking for a room, the price for a room could range anything between 9,000 crowns if you live outside, like at the end of the metro line or whatsoever. And I've seen rooms at 14,000 crowns per month. If you want to find an apartment for yourself, you definitely have to consider that you're going to spend at least 17, 20K per month. And I'm talking about a studio, so like definitely a small space. But when it comes, for example, to grocery or just going out for a beer or at restaurants, I would say that it's still kind of cheaper compared to other like Western capitals. Like for example, for my grocery, I spend like 3-4K per month, I would say. And then if you need to eat out, like you definitely can eat between so with something in between like 250-350 crowns, which is not crazy.
And can you give an estimation of overall total costs of living?
I would say you need to expect to spend 20,000 crowns, 25,000 crowns
Yeah.
per month, but it depends on where you live, of course.
How much would you say are the costs of living here?
I find it difficult to answer that question because obviously I've highlighted that a third of my salary would already go on therapy. So, and also my company do look after me. They pay for my food, they pay for my phone bill, they pay for things that means that I'm very looked after. But the rents are really high, so I would probably say about 60,000 might be a comfortable salary.
And your company pays for your food. How does that look like? Do they give you? Can you send in the invoices to them of
Oh no,
when to?
sorry, sorry. No, in the office, so 5 days a week we have a chef, and they like cook these really tasty meals, and there's always like loads left. So I always take it home in Tupperware and eat it on the weekend for free money.
Well, rent is really different for like the districts of the city. So Karlin is this district, and I live here, basically. And me and two of my friends live together, so we're three, and we are giving 45,000 Czech crowns per month for the apartment, which is high, I would say, because that means 15,000 crowns per person, and 15,000 is basically like half of the
Salary?
salary that you get. It could be like it's a little bit less than, of course, but it's like between 40 and 50% of your salary. When I was living kind of further away, it was like 12,000, and even further away it was like 6,000. So, but it's also has been affected by the immigrants who are coming to the city.
And total, all in all together, how would you say somebody would need minimum to live here?
Well, minimum it should be around 20,000, I believe, because costs of like one person or like per room is between 10 and 15,000 at the moment, and then you have your groceries, which should be around 5,000 at least, and then your own personal expenditures if you go to like a restaurant, a cafe, or if you just sit somewhere, then those kind of stuff could be, let's say, like extra 1-2 thousand, so at least 20,000 or around.